Non-stop rock talk with Tyson Bryden. Welcome to Non-stop Rock Talk. This is your host, Tyson Bryden. Today, I'm very happy to welcome back singer Robin McAuley. Robin, how are you doing?
Tyson, good morning from me and good evening from you.
Good evening, yeah.
It's good to see you again. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good. It's rainy here, but I think it's going to get nicer soon. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. This time of year is always unpredictable in Canada, so
it's okay. It's just weather.
That's right.
It's like hair. You cut it, it grows.
That's right. That's right. Now, it's funny because the last time we spoke was just before COVID, and I think neither of us were aware of what was about to happen. I think we were more concerned about the Black Swan album, which had just been released. Life was normal, and it's kind of strange to think about that now. It was probably only a few weeks after that we kind of went into lockdown.
Yes, people were... when Black Swan came out, it was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
People were constantly commenting and going, dude, like Shake the World, big disaster, man. Make it there. Did you know something we didn't know? And I went, probably, I don't know. I knew what you knew. But, maybe the gods were talking and I wasn't listening. But how strange, huh?
Yeah, it was. Now let's fast forward to today. You're about to release a brand new solo album via Frontiers Records on Friday, entitled Standing on the Edge. I'm super excited for the 180-gram crystal vinyl. I cannot wait to see that. I've been assured that it's in the mail, so Frontiers has sent me an email saying it's coming. So tell me how this album came to be, because, it's like we said, it's only been a year since the release of the Black Swan album. I guess with the COVID situation, it gave you a little bit more time to write and record?
Something like that, Tyson. Black Swan came out. There was great excitement surrounding it. My last, I performed at a Vegas show, rating the Rockfall Classic Rock Show. So right up until March 4th, which was my last show in 2020, March 6th, I was supposed to get on a plane and go join Schenkerfest. And suddenly, poosh, everything's like gone, dead. And Frontiers called me and said, hey, we could keep the momentum here if you would just record a solo record. And I went, no, I don't want to do a solo record. I'm not a solo record kind of guy, What would I do? How would I go about it? And what do you want? And they said, well, more Robin McAuley. And I went, the same to me is just boring. It's just a waste of time, and who the hell wants to listen to it, right? And they said, yeah, well, yada, yada. So kind of sat on it for a little bit. And then when I got off my high horse, I thought, okay, we could do something interesting here, since they want a little bit of whatever. So I reached out to, my own keyboard player back out in the Grand Prix days, and that was with Uriah Heep, and on a plane with him to France only in like 18 months ago. We did a Schenkerfest headlined a festival in France. Uriah Heep was on the bill. I spoke to Phil on the plane, and I went, you get asked the same questions I do, will we see a reunion? And we both agreed, probably not. So I reached out to Phil, and I went, let's do a little Grand Prix connection here. Yeah. So Like a Ghost, we co-wrote together, and that made it to the record. I reached out to Howard Leese, because I work with Howard, who's the musical director of the Vegas show, known Howard for forever. And I literally said to Howard, hey, give me a Bad Company song, because, it's Paul Rodgers' musical director. And he goes, no, but I have a riff that's not finished. I'll send it to you. Tell me what you think. Work on it. It's not, make it into a song. Do what you want. So that became Supposed to Do Now. And he goes, oh, this is really cool. And I said, but you have to come in and play lead guitar on it, on the break. And he goes, absolutely. So we got that done. Then Tony Franklin wrote a couple of tunes that didn't make it on. Tony introduced me to Tommy Denander in Sweden. And Tommy, of course, worked with the late and great Jimmy Jameson from Survivor, and I spent 5 or 6 years in Survivor. So now I got my Survivor fix. Cool. And then Alessandro Del Vecchio, Frontier's maestro who never sleeps.
Yeah, he's works so
he sent me, I don't know, maybe 10, a dozen tracks. So I sat with all of the music, kind of put it into some sort of a book shape, beginning, a middle, and an end, wrote all these lyrics and melodies, and suddenly we have Standing on the Edge. And in the middle of a pandemic, I found a studio that could record my vocals, so it was just me and the engineer and Zuckerman. And I like to tell everybody, Andy only took his mask off for a selfie. Right at the end of it, we recorded 2 nights a week, for 2-hour sessions, which is now 4 a.m. in the morning in Italy.
Oh, wow.
And Alessandro is going, and we'll Skype whenever you do the vocals. And I go, no, we won't. It'll be 4 a.m. with you, and I'm not waiting for you to wake up.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, Alessandro gets my vocals. We record, send them out there through the universe, and they land in Italy. And he didn't change anything. He left everything just like I recorded it, and it was. It's funny how you get things done.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the vocals, because I remember the last time we spoke, you had mentioned that Jeff Pilson had this microphone that on the Black Swan album that you absolutely loved.
Absolutely.
Did you use it again for the vocals on this?
Jeff was working, and I want that microphone. And it turned out that Andy used, there's a microphone. It's not new. I've used it before, but not to the same effect. And it's called the Blue, and it's a tubular microphone.
Right.
And it has interchangeable capsules. So I spent a couple of hours one Sunday afternoon. He goes, come over, we'll save time, and we'll sit with a bunch of different microphones. And I said, I really want a 67 or an 87 Neumann. And he goes, yeah, I have that. And he says, but I want you to try this Blue, and I'll change the capsule and see what you think. And, very typical of producing, I know you're going to like this one. I know you're going to like, and I went, I guarantee you we can stay here all day. We'll come back to this. Right. And so we picked a 67 capsule that was in the Blue.
Which was what you wanted to use.
It was what I wanted to use. It's not the same as Jeff's, because it's a newer model. Jeff is an old one. And it's just, I love it and it loves me. And it's just, you find that. And we were talking about that the other night. But we got a great up and close and personal vocal sound out of Andy's mic. And the rest was just me being able to do it.
That's awesome. I mean, when I first heard Standing on the Edge, that was the first song that was released. And I sent a text to my buddy. I said, did you hear Robin McAuley's new song? And I think he just sent back one word. He just said, awesome.
I'll tell you a funny story, Tyson. So when we released it, people were going, oh, dude, this is really cool. I hope the rest of the album sounds like it. It's got a kind of a Dokken sort of feel to it, right?
That's what I said. Yeah.
And I'm seeing this and I'm going, Dokken. It didn't come from me, right? Then I learned that Andreas Aveso, the guitar player, who's just amazing.
Yeah.
Right, he's amazing. I struck gold on him, and Alessandro picked him up. He's actually Alessandro's engineer also.
Really?
So he's very, very talented.
Phenomenal.
He's just like stupidly good, right?
Yeah.
So I continued to find out more that Andrea is a big George Lynch fan, right? So if that wasn't enough, I'm talking to Pilson about getting into the new Black Swan. And he goes, by the way, he said, we were just doing some End Machine videos. And then I get back home and George calls me and he goes, hey, did you produce that new McAuley record? And he goes, no. And he goes, sounds like Dokken.
It does. And there's one, it's funny because I had it on at work. And there's one note just before the vocals. I said to somebody, I said, wait for this note. It's a pinch harmonic. Wait for it.
Yes. And I said to Jeff, I was talking to Jeff Saturday, and I said, I couldn't even sing a Dokken song? And he goes, neither could I. And I said, so thanks to Andrea, we got all of the Dokken-esque likes. You know?
There's just the way he segues into certain parts, and I'm listening to it. I go, that sounds like Lynch. And I actually had Rowan Robertson from Dio on my show, and I asked. We were talking about the song, and I said, I hear George Lynch on it, and he goes, oh, I didn't pick that up. I said, he goes, I'm gonna have to listen to that again.
Yeah. Rowan is awesome.
Yeah.
Rowan, actually, I'm going to promote Rowan right now. Thanks for bringing him up. He has a new record with a new singer called Custard Pie. That's great.
I haven't checked that out yet. I'm going to
have to. Check it out. It's on YouTube. Custard Pie.
I'll check that out. Now, again, speaking of Standing on the Edge, I really that song fell in line to Black Swan.
Right.
But upon hearing the whole album, that is not as much the case. There's a different type of hard rock. This is a different type of hard rock release than that one. There's certain elements that are a little bit more of the melodic hard rock, kind of like I heard kind of an early Danger on one song and some MSG stuff on the first three releases.
Yeah, well, it's always going to be that trait or that cohesiveness because I'm singing the damn thing. But yeah, I didn't want it to be a Black Swan record. That's why I didn't want it to do it, because I love this Black Swan record. I don't want to take anything away from that.
Yeah.
So soon, at any rate. So we were very cognizant of that fact, and Alessandro said, I think we're going to make this a little bit more modern production. So when I was picking from this bucket of music that I had, I really wanted to move around vocally.
Yeah.
And so I was very careful, and I went, it has to be interesting. It can't be a Black Swan record, If they want Robin McAuley, then it has to be a little bit of all of that sort of stuff, even if I think it's, boring, whatever, and that nobody will ever listen to it. So I picked carefully. When we released Standing on the Edge, there was such a big hoo-ha. And they went, this is great. So many comments were going, oh my God, I hope every song on the album is like this. And I'm going, shit, they're going to hate this, right?
No, I was the opposite. I was like, okay,
right?
You know what?
So there was this different song picked, which I think might be the one that we use for the drop date on Friday. And that was supposed to be the second single, so I started freaking out and panicking, and I went, we better keep this going here and not go for something a little bit more poppy or happier. And so we flip-flopped, and we put Say Goodbye as the second one. And everybody
love that one too.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing to do. Keep that level going. And I'm sweating buckets, thinking, I'm gonna blow this.
No, and you know what? It's funny because I mean the first track is it was different. I was like, okay, this is cool. But then Standing on the Edge comes on, and then the next song that I want to talk about was Late December. I love that one.
Oh, thank you.
I love that intro. It's like it's very 80s sounding, like how these songs used to, and I love that. And the vocal delivery in the verse, and then the song just builds into this amazing chorus. I mean, so I'm listening to it, and I'm like, okay, what is he saying there lyrically? Because it more or less invokes a memory, I think.
Yeah, forever. Writing lyrics and melodies and whatever, I'll be married 28 years this year to the same woman. It's her birthday today. It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday,
babe. And throughout the years, it's like, is that about me? Who's that about? Right? And I don't, I always go, it's not about anybody. Right? And they go, it's not? Of course it is, right?
Well, that's funny because I have a question that kind of pertained to that, but carry on. That's kind of funny.
When it comes to Standing on the Edge and I'm listening to the music, I went, there it is. So I thought, I'm going to write this song just for my wife, only for my wife.
Oh, that's cool.
And title-wise and everything, it just really falls into the same month and everything. We met in Europe. She's Austrian, and the first time she came to visit me in LA was on Christmas Day.
Wow.
And then she was back in Vienna, and I thought, okay, I'm going to surprise her. I'm going to leave the day after she goes back to Vienna, and I'll be there. And it's all very romantic stuff. And we sort of made a little pact, and the month was November in Sweden. Shankar and I were out doing an unplugged tour, and we came through Vienna, and we were in Sweden, we were in Italy, we were all over the place. And 30 years later, and 28 years married, twin boys. So late December, it's a, dare I say it, it's a beautiful song, and I wrote that. This one. I definitely wrote for my wife.
That's awesome, and that was kind of what I was kind of alluding to, was the fact that I listened to like some of your lyrics, and it was on the Black Swan album and on this. And the funny thing was, when we spoke last year, She's On to Us, you had mentioned was about a friend whose husband, right? Which I thought was cool. So and there's a bunch of lyrics.
I take my ideas from those that are willing to give them to me.
That's right. Yeah, which I thought is cool. But sometimes, like on Make It There as well, I'm listening to it and I'm like, okay, what? And I'm always thinking, because of our, you had mentioned that 28, 27 years, I think it was last year, would have been 27 years, and I've been married to my wife, and I'm like, okay, so what's he
where's he going with this?
Yeah, where is he taking this from? Because you know what I mean? So John,
She's On to Us was perfect, because when I picked up the idea
that's my favorite track.
When I picked it up from her, I went, this is just sitting on my lap. It's perfect, And when I told her about it, she goes, thank God you didn't mention my name.
That's awesome.
And as it turns out, I'm sure with a little investigating, you'd find out who, but she is a major PI. Major. And what an idiot.
That's funny.
Like he thought he could do something, right? So fast forward, late December. It's really cool.
That's a great song. And like I said, I can't wait I got to hear it, and I'm like, oh, people are going to love it. If they like those songs, they're going to like it.
I hope so. Well, again, they wanted me to touch, and power ballads is right in my wheelhouse,
Yes, you are very good at those. That is true.
Right in my wheelhouse.
Now, you mentioned Howard Leese. You wrote Supposed to Do Now with him.
Yeah.
And yes, I did that guitar solo on that track. It's killer.
Isn't it awesome? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song. And I love You're a Big Fat Liar in there. That was so cool. It's like,
because he sent me this short riff, and I listened to it and I went, I don't usually touch sort of bluesy rock kind of style,
Yeah.
Because there's singers that do it so much better. But when it came into me, I went, man, I just love this. I was actually in GarageBand, and I was chopping it up, and there was only really the intro, and I sent it back to Howard, and he goes, oh, dude, that was like that wasn't even a chorus, and you sang over all of the stuff that I thought were in different places. He goes, how cool is this? And he goes,
oh, you liked it. Nice.
Because I thought the pre-chorus was the chorus, and then the chorus still came. He goes, fantastic, I hope they pick this. And I went, once you get in here and do this solo, it's going to be killer. And then I had Alessandro put a lot of Hammond on it, right at the end. And I went, this is cool, And I kind of pushed it to the label, and I went, I really want this song on there, because, there has to be sort of a cohesiveness. It has to hold. To me, it has to be balanced, make a little bit of sense. Hence the middle of the record, where you have tracks like Runaway and Want to Take a Ride. It's a whole different color, right there.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it. Like you had said, you didn't want it to be all like Black Swan or whatever.
It couldn't be.
No, and it couldn't be. And that's what I liked about it. I was like, oh man, I'd go from song to song, and I'd be like, oh, this is different. This is very cool. Okay, I love this.
And then, of course, the last track the time I'm going, okay, 11 songs, did we do it?
Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, I mean, Like a Ghost that was written with Phil, as you, I mean, and I take it he didn't play the keyboards on that one?
No, Alexander, I sent him the rough, which was really just kind of piano.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I want lots of Hammond on this kind of purple, deep purple. It's got a Grand Prix feel to it. Yeah. Andrea did this beautiful melodies over it.
It sounds amazing.
And I sent, obviously, I had Phil actually on WhatsApp, right, long before it got to be recorded. And over his keyboard part, and I was literally singing it in my dining room, WhatsApping with him. And I said, okay, now don't freak out because these lyrics are a little crazy, right? And I said, think that you're asleep and having nightmares, and he's going, what goes on in your head? And I said, I have absolutely no idea, but you don't want to be there.
Wow. Well, I mean, and I revert back to Johnny Came Marching from the Black Swan album, and the lyrics in that are just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. Well, that alluded to the fact that Casey was within a hair's breadth of actually being there, because he'd been there the week before. I was in Poland on tour with Schenkerfest, and I'm reading about this stuff, and I'm going, oh my God, this is like 20 minutes from my front door, give or take. And Casey was actually on his way to meet a bunch of his college buddies at this borderline place. And he got called in because he was doing a part-time job. He got called into work, and I went there by the grace of God. No disrespect to the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
But, the bartender was one of his college buddies and got shot. And so when I heard Jeff and Reb had actually said, this has kind of got a free Bad Company feel to it. Not when I'm done with it, won't. This whole had really played heavy on my mind, and I just sat and I put that whole thing, came to Jeff, and I went, this is what this song is going to be about. And he goes, dude, that's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, when it knocks on your front door, it kind of has more of a, it seeps into the bones, and you're going, whew.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, but thank you. One of my favorite tracks on there, because I guess it just touched a nerve,
Yeah, absolutely. Now, going back to the album, Chosen Few is cool. I like that tremolo effect at the beginning, but then, and this kind of changes the album up again. It's kind of like an AC/DC type of, type of groove. Guitar comes in with the bass and the drums, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And that tremolo wavering back and forth on the speakers, right? Very cool song.
Yeah. Another one of Tommy the Nander song, it came in and he sent me about 4 songs, but I picked on that one purely and simply because I went, ACDC. And ACDC just came out with the new Power Up. Yeah. And they just came out with it right as the writing started.
Yeah.
And in the big, at the very end, or almost at the end, I do Highway to Hell. And I love AC/DC, and people are going, dude, you ever think of singing for AC/DC? I went, come on, guys, it's a show. Right?
Don't they have a singer?
Don't they have a really good singer?
That's right.
And so when Tommy sent this, I went, okay, I can get my AC/DC fix here. Yeah. Right? And when I sent it back to him as a rough vocal, I wasn't sure what he was going to say. Dude, you messed up my song. But he loved it, and he goes, oh my God, I would never have thought of this. This is great.
No, I love it. I love that. I mean, the tremolo's cool because you're like, oh, there's tremolo, but then this guitar comes in and you're like,
right.
It's so good. I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah. And again, it gives you, when it goes left field, you go, whoa, there he goes off on another tangent. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to, and it gives me a different vocal range. It allows me to have fun up there and do something in that part of my range. And that's really what I want do with the whole thing. Just move around. I keep telling people it's like, those little ping pong games you play.
And and you're right. That's what it does. It is, like the Black Swan album's very versatile, but it's giving you there's remnants of early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, 90s. Like it's just a really good mix.
It moves around, and it's there's a little bit of me everywhere in there, and that was the plan.
And I love that.
The book, the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Yes, exactly.
Now,
I made a Danger comparison earlier because I think a lot of that has to do with what I heard on Take a Ride. It's very melodic. Guitar textures are really smooth, which I love. I love lots of texture.
Happy summer song.
Yeah. What can you say about that one, Robin?
Again, music came in, and I went, okay, this is the middle. This is where frustration sets in. We're in lockdown. And I literally went, I got to get out of the house. We're 40 minutes from the beach. I went, see ya.
Taking a ride.
And I just had this whole thing. I'm gone, baby. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it was. Let's put a little happiness in here. Let's just flip it off and go, I'm out of here. Go, heading to the beach. Don't call me, I'll call you.
Exactly.
And that's really what it is. It's happy. It's a summery. It's like breathe, no mask.
which I can't wait for.
Oh, dude. I wear my mask out. Right, I go to the store.
Yep.
The thing I start doing is coffee. People are looking at me. I hate those things, dude. I mean, think about this. When did anybody tell you breathing your own CO2 was good for you?
Well, exactly. That's so true, right? Great. Right?
So you're walking around. Can you imagine those two medical workers? 8 hours, 10 hours, 12-hour shifts?
Couldn't imagine. It's surprising.
And my wife, during this pandemic, been on her bucket list for 30 years, is in nursing school also. She does a 12-hour day, but she also decided, I'm going to do this now because you're not working in Vegas and you're home, and so you can learn how to cook. And I can cook an egg. For the boy that I got, I'm not even sure. And she's in nursing school, and she was up on the front line for about the first 3 weeks when vaccines became available. So she was jabbing people by the thousands throughout the day as part of her clinical work. So, yes, it was lockdown. What are you supposed to do? Go to the beach. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well,
and take the mask off and breathe the sea air. All is good.
And relax and enjoy.
And relax. Yeah.
We're a little bit further behind on the vaccination up here. I see that concerts are being,
I see advertising already.
Advertising for concerts. So we're not there yet. We're not even close to that yet. I got vaccinated last week, which is good. But we're still a little bit of a ways away. But we're getting there.
I'm all shot up.
You're all shut up. Any side effects? No.
No.
That's awesome. Oh boy. I had to, as you were describing the album, I had to ask, when you heard just the music, when when you're hearing this, and the guitar playing, and it just sounds fantastic. What were your thoughts? Were you like, wow, this is...
no guitars. No guitars, very little keys, no overdubs. All I heard was basic and not real drums either. Not real drums. There was all drum machine, bass, very sparse on the keys. And how I like to write lyrics and melody is I want almost nothing. You could give me an acoustic guitar track, and that's my personal favorite. I don't need all of the other stuff on that. I need to hear what's going on.
Good for you.
So I said to Alessandro, actually I sent it back and I went, I can't work on these tracks. I want you to pull all that other stuff out of there, boost the rhythm guitars, and really that's all I want to hear. I just want to hear what the hell he's doing, and the rest will later. So when for that, and I'm going, that's what he's playing. Now I here with my melodies. And then we sent it back and recorded it properly, for real, man. And we put all the guitar overdubs, and he would send me a rough mix, and I'd go, no, he needs to do this, and he needs to play, I need a little bit more here, and I need more Hammond, and I need more bass here, and I love cello, and I love orchestration. So when it came to sort of Runaway, and when it came to the opener, and on the very end, and Running, I want something really symphonic, because I love all the symphonic rock stuff that's going on. So I wanted to really push that envelope as far as I could with this kind of material. And we had a blast doing it,
That's awesome. So what did you think when you heard the final product?
Well, we tweaked as we went, There wasn't much tweaking because Alessandro did such a great job, and he knew throughout the process where I was going with it.
Yeah.
And every time I would do a vocal and send it to him, I put my notes on it. And I went, okay, here, this is what I need there. We need a cello part here. We need more Hammond here. And then we'll take it out, we'll pull it right back, and I want to hear a little bit more power chords here. So we were tweaking it as we were on the run. And then he got it. There was a couple of very minor changes. He added backing vocals to one track. It's the only time there's another voice on there, which is on Running Out of Time. He goes, I put a backing vocal on that. I hope you don't mind. I just need to beef that up a little bit.
Yeah.
The rest is all me. And Nicholas Papico on drums just killed it.
Yeah.
And then Andrea over the top. Tyson, I couldn't be happier. They did a phenomenal job. And Alessandro doesn't normally play bass.
Yeah, I noticed that he was playing bass. Yeah.
So he pushed himself into playing bass, and he goes, I hope you love what I did at the very end of late December. I went, dude, killer.
That's awesome. So how do you...
it forces you to...
That's awesome. So, I mean, how do you find it working? So this is your solo album as opposed to doing a Black Swan album. I guess that's a whole band decision as opposed to you. I mean, you're making... you're sending it back and saying, okay, I want to change this, I want to change that. Would you do the same thing in Black Swan, though?
Oh, it's great in Black Swan. I mean, we put so much on Jeff's shoulders that he knows where we're going with it. And what was funny with Black Swan, there was no drums on Black Swan till the very end.
That's crazy.
Because we didn't have a drummer,
right?
And it's all drum machine, and I think it was on Immortal Souls. I remember when Matt played. I got to go too. I remember when Matt played drums on that on the rough tracks on the drum machine tracks just before solo. There's a lot of rhythm going on, and then one of the snare hits was naked. It was all by itself. So when it came to the final mix and Matt playing, it wasn't there. And I'm going, you have to put that back in. And Jeff goes, put what back in? And I went, you never heard that? It's like,
yeah.
And it was like flam.
Yeah.
And it was just all there by itself. And I go, that's one of my favorite parts in the whole. And he goes, and I hear everything. Yes, you do. So we went back in just for me. So everybody hears their little pet favorite parts.
Yeah.
And but Jeff is, God, he's phenomenal.
I was going to ask about the next Black Swan album, but you have to go. So
yeah, we started writing 2 weeks ago. So we are about 6 songs deep. Haven't recorded, but I'm expecting to start laying down the first vocals next week.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. Well, Robin, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. And great chat.
Yes, absolutely. And best of luck with the album.
Thank you. Keep pushing it. Keep playing it loud.
Will do. Thanks, Robin. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have you too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.